Id Placebo just subscribed. Fun fact of the day: Imaflanker is really a red panda with a man bun. It's true, why would I lie?
We are being hailed.
Council agenda ready.
Colony establishment has begun.
Test. There we go. Okay, let's try this again. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on whereabouts in the world you are. I hope you're having a phenomenal day so far. Welcome to this evening stream. Sorry about the somewhat quiet start, but unfortunately, My roadcaster decided to crash on me, so I've just been restarting it, which is also the reason for the delayed start of the game. So apologies, everyone. We are underway now, though, and I'm just going to go and grab all of the people at choice we've got. Togo, Ryan, Russ, Physics, and Daft.
Nothing professionals passed. Hello.
Hello.
Greetings.
Ship upgrades applied. Ship upgrades applied.
Oh, right. I gotta go deal with that rogue ship that came out of one of the gateways.
We are being hailed.
So I assume Franco can't. Franco, can you hear us? If
Yeah, I can hear you
then-
perfectly.
Okay,
Can
good.
you guys?
That's the first thing you said, I think.
Well, and announced your names, I dragged you in, but honestly, wouldn't be surprised at this point.
I think I heard you say our names when you brought us in, but nothing else.
So how's your
been?
weekend been?
It's been one of the weekends of all time.
You had a busy weekend?
Yes. So, it's lots of work. How about you guys?
Less work.
Oh, quite like the sound of less work right now.
Had a nice quiet weekend. I've been trying like hell to avoid anything having to do with U.S. politics this weekend.
That seems a sensible approach, sir.
Russ 555 just subscribed.
Obviously, I read up what I could have on Trump getting shot, but you got shot late Saturday night. You're not going to know anything. No, he got shot.
No, he was not hit by any bullets.
Really? Then what was the blood coming out of his ear?
From plexiglass that hit him.
Anyway.
From the bullet hitting the plexiglass, shadowing it, breaking it apart, and a bit of that hit him.
Anyway, we don't know anything about anything that happened until during the week anyway, because it's Sunday. You're not going to get much traction on any real investigation.
Yep.
Ooh, mega engineering, finally.
Oh, nice.
That's late as hell.
Yeah, that's weird.
gonna have all of my space filled in finally.
Yay!
Start going back around and building all of the. Why am I blanking right now? Hyper relays, all of the hyper relays in my system. Need to finish those up.
Research concluded.
So where should I put my gateway if I'm going to build a gateway so you guys can get to me quickly if necessary?
Usually you want to build one in your capital at the very least, so that to facilitate any trade routes. Yeah, I think your capital would work well, and maybe one in Benhabanis as well.
Capital and where?
Benhabanis.
Isn't that where they do the teppanyaki?
Yeah.
Why would I want to put one in Finn? Why would I want to put one in Benhabanis?
Is this really far away from your capital?
Nothing's really far away from my capital. I don't have very much space.
Oh, it's the furthest thing away from your capital.
Like if I were to build a ring world in 2 TUE, like short for Tuesday, I could make this one sector.
Nice.
That would cover my entire sector, and I wouldn't even hit 4 in every direction.
You would on the Holdeban, right next to your capital.
I would hit 4 at Holdabana, I would hit 4 at Benhabanis, but I wouldn't at Badukan, I wouldn't at Julao, and I wouldn't at Dargan.
Yep.
That and all my systems are connected by the freaking hyper relays anyway. So. It doesn't matter where I put it, so I should put it in my most defended system. Which is any of my border systems with 157k at each of their freaking star bases. So I'll put it at Finn.
Wait, why are we paused?
Hobo's connection dropped.
Oh no.
So I'm letting it run a day, and then I've paused it again.
Hobo! Hello.
You know, when I put on my headset, it may help if I unplug the other thing that the sound was coming through.
Only sometimes.
I don't know why the game just decided to freeze for a second and then crash.
No
So,
worries, bud. We're in no rush.
That's usually when it crashes. It usually freeze for a second and then it crashes.
It normally has a reason for it first.
It doesn't tell you how many times you've expanded planetary sea on a world.
I don't think it says how many times you have. But you can only do it, I think, 3 times.
Well, I have 2 more worlds I need to do it to, and I don't think I have enough ice. Oh, I got 2 other systems I could build star bases in for ice.
Oh, that's good.
I need to expand my number of star bases first, but
Everyone watching the Euros final tonight?
It's right after this, so I am.
Watching what?
Euros final.
We get to watch England be destroyed by Spain.
That is the right level of optimism across the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've gone through on penalties so far.
But we are in the crazy timeline, so maybe England will actually destroy Spain.
If the referee goes like it has to pass every single game, maybe. The bets have been rather favorable to England so far.
I missed the first bunch of games. I kept forgetting about them, and then one or two I started to watch and got bored.
I've been watching the Copa recently, Copa America, and the North American countries pretty much always get shafted by the refs. Also, if you heard the fields in the Copa America, they're basically doing a trial run before they host the World Cup in America. All the fields are smaller, like in a significant way, than the normal fields in Europe.
It is a bit like hosting the Super Bowl final somewhere else in Europe. Like, cool.
Well, at least the field will be better than it is over here. In that case, over here we have they literally put turf. I'm sorry, they literally put sod on top of turf. It was not well done. The fields are pretty bad. Oh, and don't forget, they don't section apart the fans of different teams. So you got lots of violence.
Yeah, I think that's more on the fans, to be honest. Like, rugby doesn't... International rugby, as far as I'm aware, has never really separated fans. Normal rugby games, fans aren't separated. It's just soccer. And it's it's a very small minority in a minority of countries that cause trouble. Unfortunately, arseholes be arseholes.
It's gotten better. In the 80s and 90s, it was pretty miserable in some European countries.
There were lots of clubs that you would not take your children to a game.
I remember watching a game because people were trying to get me into soccer, and I don't know which country. It was one of the Scandinavian, but I'm not going to say which one because I don't remember. But they were throwing banana peels on the field anytime they played a North African team.
In the semifinals of the Copa America, after the game was over, there were fans throwing beer cups at the family of the Uruguayan players.
Arseholes are everywhere, and it only takes a small minority. Or is it you only need one person to poop in the soup to ruin the soup? And
it's something like that. When you have a lot of people in an enclosed area, mob mentality takes over really quick.
There's a genuinely good reason for it. But,
people who normally would not do that kind of thing, they get up in the crowd, they get a little bit of alcohol in them, they lose their inhibitions, and the crowd starts doing stuff, and they're just having fun. That's how the
IQ of the crowd is the IQ of the smartest person divided by the number of people in the crowd or something. Yeah, I can't remember.
No, the IQ of a mob is the IQ of the lowest IQ of the person of all the people in it.
But it's the reason that when I went to go to watch Foo Fighters, you couldn't have caps on your drinks bottles. There was no violence or anything at Foo Fighters, but because it stops you throwing the bottle. Because if you try throwing a bottle without a lid on it, it doesn't work.
Well, it sort of works. It's just it gets a lot lighter as it travels.
It also won't travel consistently.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. But it used to be really bad for football in the UK. I think Cardiff, Millwall. There are a few other
I
clubs
just remember
that.
the other thing.
Hmm?
The American stadiums are the ones who sold the tickets, and the tickets were available long before, I think it was before the teams were decided. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I have a feeling this. I'll just rehost if it crashes again.
Okay.
All right, I'm rehosting.
Okay.
I may have done something before I realised it was paused.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame the game doesn't like immediately pop up for everyone when there's a pause.
But
I'm still waiting for it to recognize the crash out from Hobo.
what ended up happening in the Copa America is the team who advanced first, who played first and advanced, will get almost all the tickets.
Sorry, Ryan, just one moment. Are we doing a resync? I've got the resync option here on my screen.
No, I'm doing a rehost.
Oh, okay.
Because resync doesn't work after it's crashed.
Are you going to put the server ID in it this time? Or are you going to do that?
I'm already doing it.
Yeah. Did you see what we tried telling you? Did you see what we tried telling you twice? The one you posted earlier has got the server ID.
Just joined through the lobby was
That's the password.
Unfortunately, at the time, I was still trying to. Oh, for fudge biscuits! I genuinely hate Stellaris of all of the games to host because the server ID so inconsistently does what it's meant to do. There you go. And yeah, I was having tech issues with the Rodecaster, so I had no mic input and no outputs. So.
Well, at least you can click on the ID and it sometimes copies.
Yeah, no, that's the problem. I'd rather they didn't do that. If they're not going to do it properly, don't. Because it sometimes copies. Not all the time.
I'd rather it work sometimes, and
I'd rather they put it somewhere that wasn't the press play pause button, honestly,
yes.
And it was a completely separate function that doesn't have a multitude of things you do by clicking the same location.
Like you hit escape, bring up the menu, and it's at the bottom or something by the checksum.
Yeah, that would do.
Tomorrow's gonna be a fun day. Realized could have to sit around with someone who has mobility issues, and they'll have all weekend just do around and wind themselves up about the things that happened in politics this week. And then I'll have to listen to them while I sit with them.
That sucks.
Well, you can tell them there's not much to talk about anymore. It's the same election as last time, except one of them has managed the same awful election and choices we had last time. Except this time, one of them's actually managed to make themselves pretty much unelectable.
They've both done that.
Yeah, except both of them have done it into different parts.
Yeah, in completely different ways. Yeah.
And both of them have a core that will support them no matter what, which is also depressing.
Yeah, they're all going to be fighting for people like me, the moderates.
Yeah, and like it's the problem is that I don't where some Democrats have been putting pressure on Biden to drop out, I don't see another candidate that the Democrats could put forward that non-Democrats would vote for. Your choice about Gavin Newsom or Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris is polling worse than Biden.
Yeah.
And Gavin Newsom will not appeal to a lot of the moderates with the stuff he's been doing in California, especially with the border issues.
Yeah.
Supposed border issues, yeah. Fun fact, there really isn't much of an issue with the southern border, other than the fact that so many politicians are trying to kick people out before they've gone in asylum healing.
Welcome to us having the same problem. We've got
I know.
A small boats problem, which is people crossing the channel on a dinghy, which is a spectacularly bad idea.
Yeah.
But instead of like looking at, okay, how can we process these asylum requests faster? And
how can we get them out faster?
Well, it's not even that. It's that like our previous government, which it looks like has been kicked into the long grass now, said that anyone coming to the UK would be shipped to Rwanda as a third safe country.
What?
Yeah.
That's not a safe country.
That depends who you ask, but either way, it's not. It's also not it doesn't meet with our commitment to our international obligations either. And much like the US, we have a problem where there are no legal, safe routes for people to claim asylum, or for a lot of the people to claim asylum, depending on where they are in the world. Which is really dumb. Because then when you have people go, oh, well, why are they crossing the border illegally to get in here and then to claim asylum? Like, well, what other choice did they have? If you're the rest of your family... And bear in mind, the UK, there are a lot of familial connections around the world because of the UK's history. And also, you know, the UK is a first world nation that speaks English, as many people would see it. It's a good target.
The border crisis is a completely different freaking conversation than this. Because, one, it's a humanitarian crisis.
Oh,
two, it's a legality. It's a legality issue. Like in 2022, the U.S. brought in 2.6 million people legally immigrating to the U.S. None of those ran across the Rio. That's legal immigrants. The U.S. brings more people in than any other country in the world legally, and then we still have an illegal immigrant issue on top of that, and it's thousands, tens of thousands a day.
Also a very, very big...
It is exactly the same problem, bud. It's not like the UK has closed borders and doesn't bring people in.
No, I'm talking about on scale. The scale of people flooding in that southern border is... There needs to be control there. There's got to be something that be done to...
Why?
One, to protect the people that are coming across.
Yeah, of course.
And two, to make a legal way for them to freaking do it.
Yeah, because the reality is that for a lot of countries, like and I would say applies broadly to the US and UK, there aren't legal paths to migration other than in the US has the green card lottery, which is so no matter where you're from, with some restrictions, that's a way of accessing the US legally, where the other routes will take years if you are not falling in certain visa categories, and really decades.
Like the number of people flooding in is just absolutely... Like New York City is closing public schools in order to give room for a lot of the people crossing the border a place to sleep and eat, and paying them money so they can go to Target and get supplies and stuff. And it's just they don't have the infrastructure to support it. And that's New York City, which is 3,000 miles from the border.
Well, actually, it's right at the border. It's at the it's on the coastal border. It's a common place for people to fly to.
The people walking across the border with backpacks can't afford a plane ticket.
they often save up for a plane ticket.
And why didn't they? Then they could have flown from one of the many countries they walked through to get here, including Mexico.
Why would they fly?
Because it's not It's not mostly Mexicans coming in.
Yeah. Why would they fly to Mexico? Who, first of all,
it's a cheaper plane ticket.
But they're still not in the US if they fly to Mexico.
Yeah.
No, from Mexico to the US. It'd be a cheaper plane ticket.
Because have you seen the immigration queues going from Mexico to the US on a flight?
They're getting bussed from Texas and the border states.
Well, that too.
That's one of the things that the border states are doing now, because they've got so many people that they can't deal with, that they're starting to send to the sanctuary cities.
Sort of. A lot of it is them just being.
Florida's been a huge increase of people coming in from the surrounding islands, as well as a big group of people coming from Mexico, because it's not hard to cross the Gulf of Mexico. It's pretty calm waters.
But they pretty much accept all the Cuban refugees. It's frozen?
Yeah, I know, I'm working on it.
Time it's Ryan.
Oh no. That's random count, I would say. Okay, it's spawning again. Should I hit resync?
Yeah, go for it. Why not? Please don't hit anything for anyone else.
Yep.
This is not going too well.
Has there been a hotfix or a patch or something? Just wondering if it's, broken and saved somehow.
No. There's not been. The last time there was an update to the game was June 23rd.
Okay.
We've had the same version since then.
Hobo downloaded already, or he is? Oh no, he just started.
No. I think random count would be something that could resync easily. I hope it can resync easily anyways. Yeah, physics. If you haven't heard of Project 2025, then that's one of the things that's killing Trump's campaign.
I think you overestimate how much damage that's doing to his campaign, because, I think a lot of moderates don't think it's real, and a lot of Trump supporters don't care. Then it doesn't matter if Democrats see it.
Yeah, but
I think you underestimate the amount of damage Biden did to himself at the freaking debate, and every time he's gotten on in front of the cameras since then, the amount of damage he's done to himself. Trump has actually played it smart and hasn't been on social media a lot.
I was going to say that is the single smartest thing he's done is nothing.
He's letting the Democrats tear themselves apart.
And for those that are heavily involved in understanding what's happening in US politics, that's terrifying. That Biden's missteps are making it a wide open goal. and the Supreme Court decisions in the last 2-3 weeks make it even more terrifying.
What, that they might actually vote Trump in again?
No, it's
It's
if
not
Trump
who
elected.
gets in, it's what happens when he does.
Yeah, that's what the Supreme Court decisions have been doing.
So, I muted because I really am not in the mindset where I can bite my tongue on a lot of things right now.
Mhm.
So, if it's anything about that stupid, absolutely idiotic project, whatever the hell, or the fact that the Supreme Court said the thing that has never had to been explicitly stated but was true for every single god dang sitting president, then anyone who believes it is stupid.
I hate to break it to you, the Project 2025 thing does exist. Like, it's the...
Yeah.
I know, I've read enough of it to know that it's no fucking different than any other god dang election.
It really is.
I like how you censored yourself on every word but the F one.
And that's okay. Like, but it's... The problem is that, from an outsider's perspective, just for a moment, Trump did a lot of really stupid things, really intentionally damaging things last time he was president, but had no follow-through. So the things he did around healthcare, the things he did about the ability to be a member of a union, they were just badly done. They had the intention of doing them. They tried and they failed because they were crap at it and didn't have a plan, because they didn't have a plan on day one. I genuinely don't think Trump thought he was going to win. And they certainly didn't have a great plan for what to do when they get into office. To their credit, they now do. So unless they've changed their positions on things like healthcare, union membership, just two like very specific things that they absolutely attacked last time and are attacking at the moment in states like Florida, employers have no requirement to provide union dues anymore for people that have signed up to unions. You have to recertify a union that has to have 60% of the workforce sign up to be a member of the union every year, or the union has to recertify as a union.
I hate to break it to you, but the Florida's been a right to work state the entire time I've been alive.
Oh yeah,
which means it hasn't been a union state.
That's not right to work is something completely different. No one cares. Right to work is a and it's the same as California has some, to outsiders outside of the US, has some like terrible employment law. And it's because there isn't federal employment law in a lot of areas. This isn't that. This is actively trying to destroy people's ability to be members of a union. Two very different things. Like, you don't have to be a union to be in any job in Florida. And it's so obviously political because do you know the only union that does still have to collect dues and hand them over to the union? The police. Because they vote Republican. Like, I've spent 7 years of my life working on that. So I can tell you with absolute certainty that there are terrible things that are going to happen. And they're not world-ending things for most people. They're just people having crappy intentions and actually having someone bright enough to follow through on them.
Why are you pausing?
Because I'm crashing.
I'd appreciate if you didn't pause when you were crashing.
No.
Hands are out of sync.
I should be.
Should we try reloading the save we started with today?
Sure, I'll do it now.
Yes, and that's the thing, Flanker. Neither of the options
now my
are really
game's
good.
crashed.
But there's not that both of them are going to be absolutely terrible in entirely different ways.
How would you say the Democrats are going to be terrible in the like a genuine question? I'm not not judging. What are the things that the Democrats are going to do that are likely to permanently remove people's rights? Because that's what's just happening in Florida.
They've been chasing several of them for since fucking Obama.
What? Name one.
What? That the Republicans have not been doing, by the way.
No, I think it's fair to say even if the Republicans doing it.
Yeah, well.
Because you're at, like, just to be clear, there is no side of any argument generally that everyone on one side is terrible and everyone on the other side is great. That's not what this is. There's just very, very different degrees as to what's being attempted and the impact it will have on others.
I mean, in my opinion, the optimal thing is if both the candidates die tomorrow. Like, die of old age tomorrow.
No, that wouldn't change anything. Like, and I wouldn't wish ill health on anyone. I
think he's well got a 20-year-old kid on a roof for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
What?
That kind of thinking is what got a 20-year-old kid killed on a roof yesterday.
Yep. It is. Yeah, I'm sorry, genuinely giving you space to speak, Hobo, because I would love to know.
I'd love to have a brain to actually make a concise thought that isn't trying to sift through the 20 different things that I've had in my life that I've thought about for the exact purpose.
I know the feeling. Oh, gun rights. That's a thing.
Also, to be just so this is clear to anyone watching on stream, Hobo has had pretty much zero sleep.
I tried to sleep for 3 hours and I was too sore to even sleep at all. So I was still too sore to sleep at all. So that's why I'm here.
Oh, dang.
Is anyone else seeing two lobbies in the lobby browser?
Probably, because one will have ended abruptly. Hang on, I'll put the server ID back. Oh, no, come on.
Am I joining?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Hey, Cookie, I'm not doing that for now. I'm busy.
Hello, sorry guys, I was AFK for a sec, so
everything crashed, it's been rehosted, there's a number in the Stellaris management multiplayer chat, sir.
Yeah, yes, apologies, it's saying I was out of sync, but I swear to God I did not do anything.
It's so random who gets the out of sync thing, I wouldn't read anything into it.
No.
You could have gone a notification and that would put you out of sync.
Wow.
Alright, are we missing anyone else? Let's have a look. Is anyone not reconnected? 6. Yep, that's fine. Hitting confirm now.
Well, on a nicer subject, does anyone have any games coming out soon they're looking forward to?
I've been playing a bit of Ultimate General American Revolution. If anyone's been following the Ultimate General series.
I've got Ultimate Admiral.
Heard of it? I haven't really had the time to look into it myself. I've seen other people playing it.
I got really good at Ultimate General Civil War, but in that game, melee charges aren't terribly good, and trees are the best cover in the game, and infantry is actually overpowered.
When's the new Space Marine game out?
I don't know.
It got delayed, didn't it? I assume it's still this year. Or did it get delayed? I might be just thinking about the beta.
The original release, I think it's meant to be September 9th, 2024.
Oh, not too long then.
Yeah, doesn't Sims 2 come out later this month?
Sims 2?
Sins.
Oh,
Sims
Sins.
Solar
Sims
Empire.
Solar Empire.
Okay.
I assume that's what you mean.
No, I was talking about my social insurance number. Yeah. Yeah, seen some videos on that where it's got the planets actually orbit.
Yeah, I saw that. Like, you
As the
can
game
mess
goes
about
on.
with the orbital mechanics, can't you?
Yeah, the lanes between planets change as they orbit. And some planets orbit a lot faster and some are a lot slower.
I think an interesting game might be just it's a space game, but there's no FTL. You just use you're just in a couple of star systems that are immediately next to each other.
Is that the Falling Frontier one? Or no, that's probably
No,
something else.
I just had that idea out of my head.
Oh, just an interesting thing to see. Okay.
Yeah, I've seen some small games where it's just a combat game basically, where it's a bunch of celestial bodies orbiting stars. But I've never seen a large strategy game based on them.
Well, there's one that's a single solar system, but for the most part, I don't think it's focused entirely on strategy. I think a lot of it is political backfighting and stuff until you reach a certain point. What was it? The people who made the Long War mods for XCOM, Terra Nova? Something like that?
Maybe? I don't know. I don't know.
I can't remember the name right now. It's in my library. Haven't gotten very good at it yet.
There's someone who played a bunch of a game called ICBM that I think looks cool because it's a modern war in a way where you use nukes to try and kill each other, and once the world is all destroyed, whoever killed the most people wins.
And then you start a game of Twilight 2000.
I haven't played that one, but there was an older game called DEF CON, which was
Yes.
one of my favorites back in the day. It was kind of simple graphics, like vector graphics, as if it was an old 1980s missile command computer thing that you were using. The same idea where you're basically managing your nuclear missiles and aircraft carriers and bombers and things, and you had to try and protect your own people and destroy the enemy cities. And whoever had the most people alive at the end would win.
There's a card game I once played called it was either Mutual Destruction or Nuclear War, where you play a card that was either and they create nuclear missiles and stuff. You kill a certain number of people, and once somebody lost, they play the whole hand and target at anyone they wanted. And so you would often get one person dies, then they kill someone else, and they kill someone else, and they kill the last person, and everyone just loses.
Wow.
Most of
So,
the time.
Mad Doctrine, the card game.
Yes, mutually assured destruction. But it is possible to win. Otherwise, it is possible to actually win the game. Not likely, but possible.
Everybody's loaded.
Economizing. Oh!
What?
I'm on my desktop right now.
Ryan.
It's a scary moment, but it hasn't fallen over yet.
That's because I haven't unclicked pause yet.
You guys play for a month.
Oh, Ryan, you disconnected.
Yeah.
Oh,
you guys
that's
play
what
for a month and I'll jump in after the month.
Okay.
This isn't the original save that we started on. I can see.
Well, we've crashed anyway, so. I'll reload Stellaris from the beginning.
This is the save we were just at.
Okay.
Because I already.
Does someone else want to load it then? Because honestly, I'm running low on patience for dealing with this. So I will do it one last time.
If you send it to me, I'll host.
I can't send it to you, but.
Oh.
It's too much. Too much difficulty. Yeah, maybe we just call it for today because.
I'm already reloading, Ryan. I'm going to do it one last time. If it fails again, then sure, we can just call it.
Alright.
Links out sync random entities.
Yeah, it will be because I literally exited the game.
Oh, okay.
Right. I'm just going to set the password to 12345 so you know if you're on the right one or not.
Uh-oh.
And the server name is called Imaflanker 2 to differentiate. And then...
Not the latest.
Sorry?
I thought you clicked on the latest save. Right
No, I haven't. I haven't clicked on anything yet.
Okay, good.
I'm just rebooting my game quickly. It only takes a few seconds for me to launch it. Don't know if it'll make a difference, but...
It'd be nice if it told you what day of real life they were saved on. Like most games do.
Right.
I could go pull up the save that I made and see what the date was.
If you've got a save that you want to run, feel free to host it. I'll join you. I've literally just clicked load on the save from last week. So.
Oh no, I meant Ryan talking about not being sure which save it was. So I was saying I could pull up the date from my save to confirm.
Incorrect password.
12345.
Sorry, I missed that conversation. One, two.
It's a super secret one. Did you all hear that the news about the what's it called? The Lord of the Rings show, Rings of Power?
No. Nope.
It's
Haven't
gonna
really
be
been
following.
paying attention to it.
It's gonna be following Sauron, and it's gonna try and make us feel sorry for him.
I was gonna say it's about time we got a perspective from the good guys.
He is the embodiment of evil. He's not supposed to be.
But
he's not supposed to be a good guy ever.
That's your idea of evil, though.
Like
you were talking about unions, though, Flanker. Unions in the U.S. are so effed up anyway. I don't even. We'd have to start over just to fix them. Because like I live in a blue state, a very pro-union state. This week we have our vote to sanction whether or not we're willing to go on strike if we need to for our next contract. For the strike sanction, there's almost 40,000 people in my union that work in this region. There's local unions all over the place based on where you live. Instead of doing that Wednesday at 12 o'clock in the middle of the day when people have to take off work to go to it or whatever, everybody in the union has to go to Safeco Field in Seattle, which is hour and a half, 45 minutes to 2 hour drive for most people just to get there, deal with Seattle traffic, deal with pay for our own parking, even though they get $3 million a year out of the membership from the unions and union dues. We get to pay for our own parking too, all to freaking, and then we had to sit there and listen to talk to us for half an hour before we can even do the vote.
All right.
Rather than just go to our local union hall or do a mail-in ballot.
I think that that's an incredibly stupid way of doing a ballot. I agree with you.
There's not a digital way to do that nowadays.
No.
This is the way this is the way unions work in the U.S.
Well, to be fair, just to provide a counterpoint, not defending the stupidity of having to go to a third site. The union law in the US is incredibly anti-labor. There's a lot of things that can't be done digitally because there's a paper copy required. So, but that doesn't stop them doing something, even if they were standing out the front gates and taking votes at each site, even if they weren't allowed on the employer's sites.
Or just go to the local union halls. There's one at every work site. There's a union hall across the street from every major work site. The smaller sites might have to drive a little bit to get there, but even then, they don't stop to go to the middle of Seattle in the middle of the day.
No, that seems incredibly dumb. Unless there's a legal reason they're having to do it, it seems really stupid.
Their reason they're putting out is they want to show the company a strong turnout. I'm like, you know what to show the company a strong turnout? A high voter turnout.
Yep.
You know what you're not going to do? You know what you're not going to get Wednesday? A high voter turnout.
No, I agree. That is dumb. If there's no legal base, they have to do it centrally. That is incredibly stupid of them. Not even going to try and defend it.
And if there is a legal base, it's going to be in the freaking bylaws for the union, which the union can change.
Yeah, that's not that easy though, and that is an area I do have some expertise in.
Well, we recently changed a lot of our bylaws because of the last contract vote. So, I mean, we've done it fairly easily.
Yeah, if I were the local, or the union in that position, I'd be like, "Hey guys, this is really dumb. None of you want to do this. Can we vote for the bylaws at the same time?"
It's even dumber because it's an international. So our headquarters is actually in Washington. We're still going to a local hall. Actually, when I was going to a local hall, we're going to Safeco Field. We're going to the city's soccer field. Not even to a union spot. So they're going to rent out the soccer field for... No, it's not air conditioned.
Wow, what monsters.
Yep, that is much dumb.
I've seen and heard enough stories about unions to know that there's a reason why there would be any kind of support about about federal level doing anything to unions to begin with.
Well, no, our federal government is our federal government's anti-union. They're very pro-corporation.
Yeah.
For decades and decades.
You know what I mean. That I see just as many people complaining about their unions, and have seen for years.
I see more people complaining about bosses
as I have people saying how good the union is to them.
Sure, but if your electricity company provides you electricity every month, do you go on everywhere you go and say, "This is great electricity, I love it"? You're only ever going to hear from people that are unhappy. Like, no one's running outside saying how great the union is unless they have just won a major contract. And union workers earn significantly more than non-union workers do. Right across the industries. Have healthcare, have better benefits. Like, it's anything bigger than a mom and pop shop, you're in a significantly worse place if you're not a union member.
Until your union ends up in the back pocket of the company you work for and sells you out.
Right, which should be very illegal.
Yep.
Entirely agree on that front as well.
synchronize the game. Let's cross our
Right,
fingers.
can everyone please make sure they're tabbed into the game when we do this?
I look like I have the right resource count. Let's see.
Okay, I've not hit anything yet to start, so is everyone tabbed into the game? I'm not going to press start until everyone said yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm tabbed in, but still synchronizing on my end.
Yeah, same here.
Cool. Let me know when you guys are done with synchronizing, because it says it's all done on this side.
Oh, it never says it's done on our side.
Yeah, we never see done. We just see everyone's
Okay.
loaded.
Okay. So, Ryan, are you tabbed in?
Yes, I'm looking at it.
Okay, I'm hitting start, and I'm not going to hit play for a few seconds, so please don't do anything.
Please don't. Okay. I haven't even moved my mouse yet, and things started moving around in the screen on their own, so that's a good sign.
Okay, I'm going to zoom out so it's on the least stressful bit possible. I've made sure it's set to slowest. I am... What?
Then it is in recess. So this isn't the save from last week.
Yeah, it is.
Well, let's see. We'll give it a try.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I've already killed the.
Oh no! If it works, who cares? Yeah, I am studying mega engineering. I did just start this week. But if it works, who cares?
If it works, who cares?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we're underway.
We got through a day. We got through 2 days. Don't do anything for the month.
Not pushing any buttons. I just see my energy credit output going up and down as some modifier changes.
Yeah, well, when the month turns over, we'll get trade income. Actually, I think it's commercial pack trade income. I'm not sure.
I think you mean if the month turns over.
Thanks, Ross. Yeah, just on a statistical basis, if nothing else, the average union worker is paid, the median union worker is paid $173 more per week than non-union member. And that's median on both sides. That's from the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
Oh, this ice mining station I'm building. Remember I was concerned about ice mining? I don't know. This is one I just built. It's got freaking 6 asteroids.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I'm not saying that unions are bad. I'm just saying that I can see why there would be people
Research
even
concluded.
voting in favor of removing them based on their own personal experiences. Whether those are vastly misguided or not is an entirely other thing.
As much as I complain about my union, I would not be for banning unions. I think unions should join for a specific purpose, and once they fulfilled that purpose, they should dissolve.
I think the challenge with that is that only works with good faith employers, like in general. Because we've had this discussion before. I think that for things like pay negotiations, having a workers' council or something for the pay negotiations, separate to any sort of union debate, I can see that argument. But there are so many things that unions deal with on a daily basis. And like, there are a lot of the bad experiences you hear about. I have had some experience on both sides of the union coin. And a lot of the bad experiences are people that have done things that they are always going to lose their job for, haven't paid into union dues, then go and ask for the union to represent them and get upset when either they refuse or they get upset that they're being made to pay dues to be represented and the outcome still isn't the outcome that they wanted. Because they're not magic.
Or you hear from people like me who don't do anything to get fired, pay almost $100 a month in union dues, and I get a t-shirt every 5 years. And lose my pension, and lose health benefits, and lose freaking...
Your union sucks.
I think that's why you started this conversation, because my union sucks.
And I was going to say about your state, without giving away where you are or who I work with, you're also home to the most sued unions in the US. There are very active anti-union, very well funded by corporate interests, constantly suing unions. Like frivolous lawsuits, they are the sort of thing that slap laws were intended to prevent. But I can tell you that one of the unions in your city is one of the most sued in the US.
Yeah, slap
you mean Seattle? It's okay.
Yeah,
I
sorry.
already told everybody that we're meeting at Seattle Safeco Field. I just said that not like 10 minutes
Oh
ago.
my god. Well, I'm not going to look up where you work because I feel that would be an invasion of privacy.
I've said many times where I work at this place.
I'm
It's come up
always
in the
trying to
news
be
a lot.
careful, man. Just because also from week to week, just because you're happy to say it one week doesn't mean that you're happy to say it another. Like, I don't mean you in
I'm
particular.
not going to say where I work
people in
because I don't
general.
want to answer stupid questions right now because where I work is getting in the news a lot.
By the way, I think I know what caused the crash. I didn't realize it was paused because nobody told me, and I was doing a whole bunch of buying reliquaries.
Well, of course it was paused, Ryan, because we didn't tell you it wasn't.
No, it had played. This is we're currently before I
Okay.
bought reliquaries.
Funny, because I just bought a bunch of reliquaries.
I think I'll buy one a month. $40,000 science, physics rather.
Yeah, the anti-union rhetoric in the States is something that always fascinates me because most of the companies that are involved in it have employees globally in countries like Germany and in the Nordics that have incredibly strong unions that they have to have workers' councils and members representing on the board. And they're like, oh, we couldn't possibly survive without, if there was a union or if we paid a higher minimum wage. You're like, you do everywhere else, bud.
I bring that up all the time whenever those discussions come up. It's like, it's like, it's just a starting job. They shouldn't make that much. It's like, they should make enough to feed their family at a minimum. Yeah, they shouldn't make as much as a skilled labor job, but they should be able to afford to live off their salary.
Absolutely.
They're like,
And
well,
honestly,
it's supposed to be a starting job. It's high. It's like, no, that's bullshit. Like, and if McDonald's can afford to do it in Japan, where they're required at a certain, and in Europe, it's like then they can afford to do it.
where they have to be actual chefs to work in a kitchen. Like,
they can do it here. It's bullshit.
Speaking of chefs, I would love to be a chef, except for the fact that I hate being cleanly.
Then no one else would love you being a chef.
Exactly, which is why I can't be a professional chef.
Colony establishment has begun.
Yeah, it's one of the big lies that's told, and it's not US specific before anyone jumps on a US bad bandwagon, but the employers, we couldn't possibly do that. And you're like, you have a branch in Germany, bud. You could do that. You're profitable there too. McDonald's is A-OK in the UK, and the federal minimum wages need to go up, the same as UK minimum wages need to go up. Because otherwise, good employers are at a disadvantage to people that are running zombie companies. That frankly, if you can't afford someone to pay enough to live on, you shouldn't employ people.
Yeah, if they're not going to strengthen unions, if they're going to keep weakening unions, then they need to give minimum wage. They need to increase the minimum wage. There's got to be a safety net somewhere.
Yeah, and it needs to be tied to something as well, because like average house prices, US, Canada, UK, most of Europe, have all rocketed. Like the cost of living compared to the 1980s as a proportion of income has gone through the roof, and so many salaries have not kept up.
The thing that I'd say about the federal minimum wage, I know that it's not 100% true everywhere, of course, but even in places like the state where I'm in, if you try to offer anyone minimum wage, you may as well just shut down your store, because literally no one's going to go work for you.
Except
But if
those
you
that can
offer
be most
$3
easily
over-
support that can be most easily exploited.
Knowledge is the key to the
No,
No,
universe.
genuinely, there's plenty of other jobs that will pay you several dollars more than what the minimum wage is here.
That's still not enough.
Yeah,
Yeah, but the minimum wage there isn't very high.
the federal minimum wage is $7.25.
If you go over-
Okay, I worked at McDonald's for the summer, and they were paying me, I think, $3 over minimum wage, and it still wasn't a livable wage. I didn't need to live off it, thankfully, but it wasn't a livable wage.
I mean, even my garbage
I think those raiders
at
mean to do
a
us harm.
freaking gas station at 40 hours would be enough to have a single bedroom rented thing and have enough
Knowledge
for
is the key to the universe.
surviving. And if I go to a couple towns over where they have a proper state college, if you offer anyone less than, I think it was like $22, $23 an hour, no, you're not hiring anyone, even for a gas station,
Can't live on it.
because they just want that over there.
It's
Yes,
not
it's
they want
a
it,
little
they
bit
need
higher.
it to be able to live on.
It's a little bit higher cost of living over there, but because of it being a college town, but it's not that excessively more. It's just genuinely there's so many other businesses that are competing with it to hire the people that
Sure. Then in that case, why not
Price
raise the
to
federal
hire
minimum
people
wage
goes
to double? If it's not in use anyway, increase the minimum wage to double. The fact is, it is in use, and there are employers that will not pay any more than it because they're exploiting their workforce.
I guarantee you, Walmart in your state pays minimum wage.
Right.
Or like $1 or $2 over, which isn't enough.
And also works 37 hours or 39 hours, not 40 hours.
Yeah. One of the things that a lot of these
Colony
companies do is
establishment
they'll
has
have you starting
begun.
at minimum wage and quickly get up to plus $1, plus and then plus another dollar, and then it'll taper off very quickly from there. And that like plus $3 maximum is still nowhere near minimum wage. What a livable wage is. And they don't give you benefits because they don't give you full-time employment.
now even just quickly looking, I would get paid more to be an overnight stalker at the local Walmart than I'm getting paid right now.
The median rent, I'm not going to... the median rent in your area of the world is $1,800 a month.
Well, the median is going to be thrown off quite a bit because there's also a lot of newer places being built for the remote people from the east.
No, the
from
median is the median. That means there's places that are lower and there's places that are higher. Median means it's the middle. The average.
Altec's all the way over there. Yeah, when they decided they want to declare war on me.
What?
And also, even so, there's vastly different costs.
Research
comparatively to
concluded.
living in, one of the towns that has a few hundred people versus, one of the towns in the mountains or this town that's in the plains.
Sure. But none of them at $7.25 an hour would give you a livable income.
Yeah, there's literally nowhere in the U.S. where $7.25 will be livable.
Wow. That is useless.
And frankly, every job should pay. Like, there is no job that you should be working at 40 hours and working another job for 20 hours just to get paid.
Yeah, of course.
L cluster beckons, but there's only one person without any L gates. Because the L gate spawn was really weird this map.
Just there's not the more effective long-term thing than just raising the amount that corporations need to pay in whatever places they're getting
Construction
away with
completed.
is make the corporations get away with less.
Sure, but the way you do that is have federal or, in the UK's countrywide law about what the minimum is.
A new world has been colonized.
No, because then the
Construction
price of goods are just
completed.
going to gradually rise up.
What we're saying is they're not going up. These companies do business in other countries, and they meet the minimums without having to raise prices.
And by the way,
But they will
Yes.
in America because they can, because there's nothing stopping them. Stop them from doing that, and you won't have to change the minimum wage.
You do have to change
Because
the
then you'll
wage
make it,
anyway, 'cause
then it'll make it
inflation
more
is
livable.
the minimum wage isn't even indexed to inflation.
that. Like, I'm with you. Like, let's stop corporate greed. Great. How do we do it? One of the ways you stop corporate greed is you stop companies like Walmart having effectively enormous corporate subsidies because you allow them to pay so little. You allow them not to require people to offer full-time positions for full-time work. And you allow them, because you have private insurance, they don't have to, they'll do anything they can to get out of paying that. So a good employer that runs a good store, that pays $15 an hour, that pays a living wage people can live on, that covers your insurance with a decent package, is at an enormous disadvantage even before they open the doors, before we talk about cost of goods or scale. Because they're doing things right. By changing the federal minimums or the national minimums, you force those companies to have to comply the same way. So at least, like, don't get me wrong, mom and pop are still likely to get ruffle stomped by Walmart, but they at least aren't fighting with one hand tied behind their back. At the moment, a bad employer can start up, and if you are the only employer in an area, you will absolutely decimate the wage. Because, like, cool, there's one employer in town. Good luck. There's only so many coffee shops and stuff that support it, and they can only be supported by that one employer. There's a grocery store and a major factory employer. How's competition going to raise?
They're planning to invade me through Russ's wormhole.
Well, we aren't going to let them invade anyway.
How are you doing? Thank you for the raid, by the way. If you're not already following Dome Reaper, you definitely should do it. Twitch.tv/Dome Reaper. Well, there's other things you could do, like if you look at most of the companies that have collapsed in the US or UK or throughout Europe, it's been by private equity buyers putting debt on the company they're buying.
We are being
insane.
hailed.
That's legal, and it's legal all over the world.
Boys of Us is a great example of that.
Yep. There are.
For a moment there, I thought you said Russ is a great example of that.
No, you're not bad.
Buyout that's been
You're
put
not
in
a bad
debt for
person.
buying himself. So you can absolutely strengthen other laws, but if you don't strengthen the minimums, it's like health and safety legislation. If you don't have health and safety legislation, bad actors are going to act badly. And health and safety legislation is written in blood. Minimum wage legislation is what allows you to ensure that the minimum standard across your country, whichever country, exists. And there are countries that people point to all the time and go, oh, well, they don't have a federal wage. Those countries have incredibly strong union representation. It's not the same. And there is no prospect.
I was saying
after the
you
US
got to have
government.
one or the other.
Yeah, and like ideally you should have both, but you should have both regulated and not regulated to get rid of one side or the other. You should have the ability to have a union lawyer represent you if an employer is picking on you or has discriminated against you. And there are so many cases of discrimination. And if you are a single individual being discriminated against by a multi-billion-dollar company, are you going to take the time to take them to court to stop the next person being discriminated against? Probably not.
And to be fair, before it comes up, because it's going to, big bad insert business name isn't going to have a grudge against Joe Schmuckatelli that has a janitor job at their business.
Knowledge
that doesn't mean
is the
that some
key to the
manager in there
universe.
isn't a prick.
Right. And that
and the manager is being protected by his manager or whatever, or his manager's incompetent, doesn't know what's going on.
We have encountered spaceborne life forms.
Tolga, are you doing chattel slavery, livestock, or grid amalgamation slavery types?
One of them might be. Hold on, let me look at the species.
Because it's funny, 2 weeks ago, my boss all of a sudden, he's like, I have to go to a meeting right now. And he left, and 2 hours later, he's like, I had to go learn about what I can and can't say about this union negotiations going on right now with your contract.
I have a couple grid amalgamation pops. Probably got them when I took that Galactic meme planet.
Got it. So I'm thinking of proposing greater than ourselves, but I don't want to do it if I'm gonna screw you over or somebody else over.
I can put them on the market to get rid of them.
Okay. Well, if anybody else has chattel slavery, livestock, grid amalgamation, stratified economy, or basic subsistence, I won't do it.
Council agenda available.
I do, because I'm a bit of a raidery type person.
Yeah, of course.
I already changed from basic subsistence, but I've got a lot of indentured slaves.
Oh, indentured is okay, greater than ourselves.
Yeah, that's fine then. I don't bother with the basic one, because then they can't work any good jobs.
Yeah, and you in the late game you very quickly run into hey, I don't need workers much anymore.
Exactly.
But what I was trying to get to is like, and then the next day after my boss had to go to that meeting, the next day there were notes on every time clock signed by a vice president at the big ass Fortune 500 company I work for that all said that the company understands that that during our breaks and lunchtime and as long as it doesn't interfere with our work, we're allowed to talk about union stuff, assuming that it doesn't affect with our work during working hours. And it was signed by the vice president because some stupid manager somewhere did something stupid.
Yeah. And as we've discussed previously, dickheads exist everywhere.
And they should be fired if they're a dickhead enough.
I don't know which manager did it. Like I said, it's a big company and there's 40,000 people just in my union. So I bet they don't work for the company anymore though.
Yeah, that is...
Because that is a huge dry It was signed by the vice president and the local representative for the National Labor Relations Board. So it wasn't just it was the federal government that monitors labor relations agency. So I mean, that was a huge fine and a lawsuit all at the same time. They probably got fired. But he's management, so it's the company's fault.
Yeah. It's like if a manager tells you to go and do something unsafe without the proper health and safety equipment, the company is liable for that. They should have provided the training and have a duty of care towards you as an employee.
And they should have trained their manager on what his job was.
And if it's bad enough, then they might be able to sue the manager in certain cases.
Nope.
No, company.
They can fire him.
Okay.
And if you cost a company like that enough money, they will fire you in a heartbeat, especially if you're management. You're not protected.
Steve Otar says being a dickhead is not a sackable offence. Not in itself, but you can take people down to disciplinary for being disruptive. Like in most countries, there is a way of effectively managing people that are disruptive in the business out.
Yeah, but being a dickhead in such a way that you cause a fine from a federal oversight agency
that is bringing the company into disrepute.
that you're gonna get fired for that, for being that kind of dickhead.
I don't have any more dice in Swarm, so I can't put it on this one astral lift.
Thurman, just to answer your question quickly, I haven't got it pre-ordered. The Stellaris plushie with mateship, but I had we got their Muffalo. They were pretty well made. Yeah, if you look at the Big Mac index, countries that McDonald's operates in that have strong labour laws, about the same price or cheaper than the US. And bear in mind that that index in other countries includes sales tax. It doesn't in the US.
Where should I get this Stellaris plushie from?
Oh my!
I want a Stellaris plushie.
It's on the.
I'm staring at my screen, just watching time tick by, and then the game crashes.
It's all right, buddy.
Okay, no one touch anything.
This has been running for a while. I'm gonna pause it now if everyone can stop doing things. It's on mateship.
Is that the one that looks like the starfish alien?
Yeah.
It's like my computer isn't even stressed because I have the task manager on the other screen and everything looks fine.
Sounds like
That's why I had so much food cost. I got all those people on grid amalgamation when I took the planet. Right.
right. Yeah, that would do it.
The game's still running.
Hang on. I'll repause it. There you go. Yeah, fair play to them. They've done like 53 grand in sales on that plushie.
Oh, one of those two places I said I could build an ice mining station. I don't want to. It's one of my freaking. It's my only arc furnace.
Ooh.
So that would be, and those are 5 ice asteroids that are giving me a lot of minerals and alloys.
Wait, do they go away or do they?
Yes.
I thought they just got used, like quote unquote, used up.
No, they get used up and they go away when they get used up. You get 3 uses of a planet or 1 use from an asteroid. This has got 5 asteroids. I'm not even gonna check for planets. I will. And it's got a planet and a moon. So I have 11 charges from this, but I mean that would take away 35 alloys and 8 times 7 freaking minerals. 56, a little bit over, probably 60. Good. 8.4. Then I don't have any other systems that are worth really putting an arc furnace on. My next highest is 9. Yeah, there's a 10. Why is my Corvette fleet 109k, but my battleship fleet is 50k?
Because battleships are stronger than corvettes.
But they're worth half as much fleet power.
It's because Corvettes are inflated. Corvette power is inflated.
That would explain why Corvettes keep losing battles if they're inflatables. That's honestly more armor than previous games.
My Corvette.
Inflatables, Flanker.
My Corvette is 109.4k for 130 fleet power. My 128 fleet power, because I can't hit 130 with battleships, is 48.3k.
Do you have the artillery weapons on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't tell for sure what my loadout is because the screen we're on, but.
Yep, that's fine. But Corvettes have higher DPS because they're using small weapons. But the problem with them is they have to get into close range, so they don't get to use that DPS. But
mine don't. Mine have got missiles and point defense, so they're not even using all their freaking.
Oh. Well, that's even worse for you.
I was a missile spam Corvette when I started.
Because the missile takes a while to land, and if the Corvette gets destroyed before the missile lands, then the missile doesn't do damage.
So I just ran some maths in the background because I was interested. Talking about like the cost of goods going up as minimum wages go up. There's a state minimum wage in California specifically for fast food workers, which rose from $16 to $20. And the big news that lots of outlets covered is that Chipotle increased the menu price by 6%. Over the previous years, 6 years, going back to 2017, Chipotle increased their price on average by how much per year? 6.83%.
So it went down.
So they increased, it didn't go down, the price still went up, but the amount they increased it by went up. That is an average across 6 years. There were some years went up more than others.
And Chipotle's been making the news lately for giving less and charging more.
Yeah.
Yep. Shrinkflation. It's so that they can improve their profit margins constantly.
Yeah. They've been increasing prices.
I bet they're not doing that just in California.
Oh no, their prices are going up nationwide, and they're also decreasing the size of their freak. Unless you have it, like there's a thing out right now where if you take your camera out and you record them, they're supposed to give you a lot in case you're an influencer.
There's also their CEO has come out saying they're not reducing their portion sizes and instructing anyone that asks for more to be given more. There was a whole thing, but I just found them as a useful, like, here's a company that said they were putting prices up specifically because, and was covered extensively in the news, and their prices went up by less than it had in previous years for the past 6 years when the employees' wages did not go up. Because salary inputs are such a small part of overall operating costs. Putting up wages by 50% doesn't increase your input costs by 50% anywhere.
Well, it might increase your service quality because your employees will be happier.
Costco certainly thinks so. Their average salary in the US is
Everyone tab in.
$46,178, and which equates to an hourly wage of $22.
Wow, they almost make as much as I do an hour, and I've been in my job for a long time.
That's because they worked out that you keep motivated employees for longer if you pay them more. And they have got themselves into enough of a niche market that the impact is relatively low. Oh, for God's sake, are we doing this again?
Yep.
Was someone tabbed out?
Not me.
Not me this time.
Nope.
Are we crashing?
Not I.
I don't know, but I wouldn't touch anything.
Hobo out of sync.
Random count, of course.
Alright, I'll just rehost.
Is this game getting too big? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, probably.
I
If
think
someone
I'm
else
gonna
wants to host, they're welcome to.
I'm gonna drop out actually, if that's okay for you guys, because I have been invited to my friend's house to watch the Euro final.
Yeah, we can
And
just.
he's on the other side of
skip all
town,
it
so
if
it's gonna
people
take me
want
half
to.
an hour to get there.
Yeah, okay.
It's I'm happy for you guys to play on. I think I'm in a safe spot, so the AI won't screw things up too much.
That's okay. We've redone this 6 times.
We
I'm not.
only have an hour left, and we're not going to spend 20 minutes just to play 40 minutes without.
No, I'm
Especially
more
when
than
it's
happy
probably
for
gonna
you guys to play on,
crash into
seriously.
Especially when a lot of us want to get going
All right.
to watch the Euros.
I think also to allow everyone some rest, Hobo, because it sounds like you've had a week, mate. Let's give Old World a skip tonight as well and just call it. Because I'm not going to find something else to do. So.
The Euros will still be going on when Old World starts. Well,
I mean, I wanted to try and sleep before the stream specifically so I could be there for Old World, but sure.
Hey, if you want to, I can restart the stream when Old World's due to start if you want to. But you haven't slept. The Euros are going on. I don't have anything to do if we're not playing Stellaris for the next hour, and then doing golf, and then Old World seems like a terrible use of time.
Like I said, I'm more than happy for you guys to play on. Seriously, it's
I
I've
have zero interest in playing on Duft.
yeah, not right now.
I've kind of done what I wanted to do with Super Earth in this run. I'm just waiting for the crisis, basically. So.
Terra Invicta, that was.
I'm gonna get going now, so I'm gonna see if I can get some shopping done before the Euros.
Bye.
All right, catch you later, guys.
Catch you later.
See you later.
If you say so, Flanker, I'll
Sorry, Hobo?
attempt to sleep. If you say so, Flanker, I'll attempt to sleep. I just don't know if this is going to be a thing for the next couple weeks either.
That's okay, bud.
I don't know the schedule week to week.
Do whatever you need to do. Like, it's all right. If you're gonna find this rough to play, we can skip it for a couple of weeks, or if you want to still try every week, we can still try it every week. It's up to you, mate. Like, your health is more important to me as a friend than whether or not we play Old World this specific week or next week.
I found when I get in the bouts where I can't sleep during the day, Hobo, there's some green earplugs that you can get a hold of. I get them from work. I don't. But their pad ones, they're so good.
It's not sound. It's that I've over time developed the ability to get more out of sleep, so I have like an 18-hour awakeness cycle rather than the normal people. So I get to the points where I'm not fully tired until it's time to go to work.
Yeah, which then you've screwed your sleep pattern. I don't know any idiot like that on this side of the Atlantic, mate. Well, other than me, but
that's the thing. It's not like a sleep cycle. It's not like I screwed the sleep cycle from streaming for 18 hours straight.
Hey, I have to work too, you know.
Yeah, you have to work while streaming. There's the difference.
No, not most of the time, but I can monitor while streaming. I can't take meetings or write briefing papers while
Sure you can.
You have before many times.
Yeah, exactly. but there's different levels of work, right? I'm not writing an opinion legal piece while streaming a game that's an FPS game that I have to look out for someone. I can monitor stuff and give feedback and do management check-ins. There's no way I'm writing I'm not coding. I'm not doing anything that it requires 100% concentration at all times. I can occasionally take calls and run them in games that aren't as fast-paced.
That just sounds like you've slowed down over time, Flanker.
I mean, honestly, yes, mate. The Flanker's old is not wrong. Thanks, Oz. Love you too. Yeah, I think it's not that you're trying to stay up. Yeah, I think it's if you're trying to stay up. Yeah, I think it's if you are trying to just get some rest and aren't tired enough to fall asleep, it's really rough. and there's no easy way around it until you've absolutely shattered yourself, and by then, like your pattern is all over the place, or it's just a lot worse. I used to hate dragging myself through early shifts. Night shifts are always fine for me. Early shifts were what sucks for me.
Yeah, I mean, I only gotta work tonight, and then I'll have a day off, and then I gotta do like normal work again.
Are there no stand-down periods in your state? Like
Well,
here, it's illegal for you to work. Like without
it's not
a
like
specific break over an extended period.
I'm the only one in the store, so they're basically just like, do as you need to. There's not like an official, you need to specifically do this at this time. They just kind of have the assumption that you're taking breaks as you need.
Yeah, that is very illegal here.
No, yeah, it's kind of difficult when you're the only one running a store that's open to where a customer can come in whenever they want.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, unless you are self-employed, it is super illegal to single man a store and not provide statutory rest periods. So,
Well, I think it's kind of like provided, because it's not like I can't just sit there if I really wanted to and do the bare minimum, but I actually care about not leaving 50 bajillion other things for the next person, unlike some people, so...
yeah, however, just remember at the end of the day, a job is a job. Like, if there are truly other jobs available at the same rate of pay, you should be working at the same rate as other workers. That's not to say, like, be the laziest person out there, but not taking statutory breaks only hurts you over time.
No,
Because
don't worry.
people go, oh, it's
Flanker,
easy. I've only got one. I've got one person. He'll do it. It's fine.
Don't worry, Flanker. I take my breaks and I make sure that there's things that I do that I'm specifically off of my feet for.
Good.
So I'm not like...
I worry about your health as a friend, mate, rather than a lecture on employment law. Just
No, I did enough of that already this stream.
yeah, that's the only part of the stream.
But yeah, don't worry, I did words. I got that all settled. It's just... I'm not the most physically straight, I suppose. It's not like just physically unfit, just, you know... I say it multiple times, and I don't know if it's actually true, because I don't want it to be true. Because then it would be the kind of thing that would stick in my head, because I'm, you know, a crotchety, stubborn man. I feel like if I went to a doctor and got everything properly 100% looked at, I would probably be technically disabled, but the moment I'm told that, I lose